Hi everybody. Well, I have received over the time of starting my two YouTube channels numerous stories of some crazy stories that people have done or seen or heard about in cruising. But yeah, this story is pretty wild. So it's not unusual for people to sue cruise lines. If you have an injury or you felt you were wronged in some, they charged you and you don't think you should be charged, people will often sue cruise lines. But this story, let me explain what happened on a cruise ship. I'm not going to say any names. I'm not even going to say the cruise line. But I will say that the cruise line offered a very generous drink package. And a gentleman and his wife were on a cruise, and the gentleman at night started at around 4:30 in the afternoon at the bar, and by 10:30 at night had consumed around 19 alcoholic beverages, to the point where he could not stand up. He was belligerent. He vomited beside the bar, and the guys had cut him off at this point and finally, I guess, after that many drinks, and the gentleman freaked out. He started throwing glasses around the bar and knocking tables over, to the point where security now had to escort him down to the little room that they have on board cruise ships. They don't like to call it a cell or a prison, but that's what it is. It's cruise ship jail. And they brought the gentleman down to the cruise ship jail. No bail for the cruise ship, by the way. Let him sober up overnight. And then in the morning, he was still belligerent and angry and yelling, to the point where security then escorted him and his wife off the cruise ship out into the port, where he now had to make his way back home. And his wife said, "You just stay there." She continued on the cruise. So I guess this wasn't a first time event for her. So the gentleman got kicked off the ship and said, well, they're not allowed to do that. And he decided he was going to make them pay. But in his mind, he's going, you know what? Yeah, they're going to pay all right, because they're going to have to reimburse me for everything I do. So he paid for a suite at a hotel, around $3,000 a night. He bought first class airfare home back to the United States at around $9,000 one way. By the way, he didn't fly home the next day. He spent 3 or 4 nights at that hotel before flying back. And then he started contacting lawyers saying that they were not allowed to kick him off the ship. He had paid for his cruise. I paid my money. I had a drink package. They cut me off. It's their fault. And he went around, and here's the surprising part. Here's a surprising part. He couldn't find a lawyer willing to take this case on without paying him money. Because you know how some lawyers will take cases on contingency, meaning that they won't get any money unless they make money during from the cruise line in the lawsuit. So he couldn't find anyone to take it unless he had to pay the money, and he wasn't going to pay a lawyer to get money from the cruise line. So he said, I'm going to bring it into court and I'm going to represent myself. Well, when he showed up at the claims court, he was actually trying to sue for $11 million plus expenses. So expenses plus emotional turmoil for $11 million. Now, I don't know about you, but I can imagine the cruise line is saying, oh my God, we're about to be sued for $11 million. We better put some people on this. And they're not going to put in Joe Blow. They're going to put in somebody who knows what they're doing. And apparently this guy showed up in court by himself with his receipts from the hotel and the airfare, and no idea what he was doing. And the cruise line had sent like 4 lawyers, like big time lawyers. Needless to say, it didn't even get past what they call the first reading. The judge threw the case out, and he's not allowed to try and sue again for these offenses. There was video evidence of his belligerence, of his drunkenness, of his disorder. He trying to sue for emotional distress while he stayed in luxury hotels. And what kind of emotional distress did you have staying in $3,000 a night hotel luxury suites? I don't know. And first class air all the way back. Not business class, folks. First class, which is different. Much different on some airlines, for instance. So yeah, I laughed my head off when I was reading this story. This happened a few years back. And I thought I just wanted to share it because I've been reading a couple lawsuits out there that people, I think, yeah, you probably deserve something for something that was mishandled and misdone. But you got to remember, for every one of those lawsuits out there that somebody deserves to have something and really was wronged and this needs to be corrected, there are those out there that are idiots and literally just out to try and make a buck. With no, it's like those people who run down to the front desk if there's bad weather on your cruise, complaining that they can't use the pool on the top deck. And they want onboard credits because we can't use the pool because it's pouring down rain and storming outside and you won't let us on the top deck. Those are the people who also do lawsuits like this for $11 million because you got drunk, you got cut off, you got thrown in jail, and you got thrown off the ship. Yeah, I'd say you deserve $11 million. In reality, I think you got exactly what you deserved.